Refuge family. Ethan here with two of maybe the biggest announcements in the life of Refuge Church. And so buckle up, sit down if you're standing up. The first thing I want to tell you is that on Sunday, July 31st, Sunday afternoon, the elders of Refuge Church voted unanimously for Refuge to leave the Southern Baptist Convention. It's important to keep in mind that the SBC is not a denomination, but rather an affiliation of like-minded churches who meet annually for a convention and appoint a committee or committees for governance of the organization. So as in the early years of Refuge, the organization provides some strategic benefits to church planters and missionaries, and they support a group of gospel-centered Baptist seminaries. They are evangelistically minded, they produce excellent discipleship curricula, and are growing in diversity. Nonetheless, severing our connection with the SBC will not impact us in direct ways like leaving a denomination might, and this departure does not signal a shift in our theological beliefs. The discussion among the elders boiled down to one important question. If we were choosing our affiliations for the first time today, would we choose the SBC? And the answer is no, for a number of reasons. And these are in no particular order. First, for a convention birthed as a pro-slavery alternative, the SBC has made significant strides to right the wrongs of the past and repent of racism and bigotry. However, the lack of diversity at the highest levels of leadership and backlash to social justice issues by Southern Baptist Seminary presidents is deeply concerning to us. Diversity always seems like a great idea until it involves giving up power. And we're grieved that vacancies at the highest levels of leadership within the SBC are consistently filled with white men rather than women and people of color. Second, the findings of the Guidepost Solutions Independent Investigation Report of the SBC Executive Committee's response to sexual abuse allegations were deeply concerning. While we were already aware of some content in the report, we were especially shocked and disgusted at the breadth and depth of the abuse, cover-up, and intimidation of victims by some of the most senior leaders in the SBC. The primary role of spiritual leaders is to shepherd and care for the people of God. And yet these leaders' use of strength and power was used to manipulate and exploit instead of protect these individual victims made in God's image. Third, while we affirm the Baptist Faith and Message 2000 in its entirety, we believe that in practice in the SBC, women are not treated equally to men. We have observed significant occasions on which women should have been encouraged to be present and speak, and yet were discouraged and silenced. In contrast, it is Refuge's hope to encourage and empower women to use their gifts to the furthest extent of biblical fidelity. Finally, Refuge Church's ministry priorities are broader than the SBC's. The church exists to make disciples of Jesus. And while we affirm that the Great Commission ought to be of central importance for followers of Jesus and the church, the SBC's focus on evangelism and missions is oftentimes myopic. It relegates social good, justice, and holistic restoration of local communities to the periphery of ministry. The power of the gospel is not merely to save individuals, but also to transform communities and systems. Though we understand that all denominations and networks have good and bad elements, ultimately, we want to be proud of who we're aligned with. We don't want to say, we're Southern Baptist, but not that kind of Southern Baptist. The reality is that for the reasons I've already mentioned, among others, the SBC as a brand has become a stumbling block for many to come to know Jesus. We desire for Refuge Church's affiliations to be a source of pride for our members and encouragement for our neighbors, friends, and co-workers to investigate the truth claims of Christianity. The elders of Refuge Church believe this is no longer the case with the SBC. So you might be wondering, where do we go from here? Well, the elders believe we are in a safe and wise place regarding accountability, finances, and resources. We recently increased our number of elders from 3 to 6, and since about 90% of church accountability, roughly, happens locally, that is good news. We will remain in Harbor Network, which is a network of affiliated churches that offers safety and support. This is a quote, safety and support to launch, lead, and multiply thriving churches. And they've done that for us over the years. Furthermore, I'm blessed to have a number of pastor mentors around the city who have a great relationship with the church and who I meet with regularly. With these measures in place, the elders are actively exploring whether an official denominational affiliation for Refuge Church is the best path forward, and if so, what denomination that might be. We will keep you informed of our progress. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 706-380-4545, and my email is ethan@refugechurchatl.com. All right, so that is number one. Number two is especially exciting. On September 11th, Refuge will be launching a second Sunday service. Our new service times will be 9 and 11. A great way to remember that is 9 and 11 on 9/11. Okay, in case you haven't noticed, our sanctuary and kids spaces have been full most of this year. If you've served in kids, you've definitely noticed. But as our membership grows, we're currently at 86, and new visitors attend and join, we have to do something if we're going to continue to fulfill our vision to see the diverse people of Atlanta become family through the gospel. So here's what we need from you. As we move to 2 services, we need all hands on deck. We ask that everyone who calls Refuge Church home would serve at least 2 or more services per month on a Sunday morning team. Okay, so Sunday morning teams are Refuge Kids, Band, Liturgy, Hospitality, and Production. The great part about having 2 services is that in most cases, you could serve at one and worship at the other. So you could worship in a Sunday service every week. Or if you'd like to knock out all your serving on one Sunday, you could serve at both services and be done for the month. That's in most cases. So if you haven't joined a Sunday team yet, please pray and consider filling out a Connect card in the next couple weeks. You can do that at the link below. If you're already on a Sunday team, your team leader will be reaching out soon with more details. I am excited and I cannot wait to see how God's faithfulness will meet our sacrifice to grow the Refuge family both deep and wide. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. My number again is 706-380-4545, and my email is ethan@refugechurchatl.com. Thanks so much for listening to these 2 huge announcements, and I look forward to seeing you soon.